you are feeding them the hot ashes, which means they are committing a sin by cutting the ties with you. وَلَا يَزَالُ عَلَيْكَ وَلَا يَزَالُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ ضَيْرٌ. There will be a witness against them in the day of judgment. So this is the definition of Silatul Rahim, ya ikhwan. Because Silatul Rahim has a lot of reward. One of them, تدخل الجنة. The hadith that we just mentioned. What we shall do if we have good ties with them, تدخل الجنة بسلام. We enter Jannah. So enter Jannah is not that easy. That when someone is good for you, you are good for him. This is nothing, because by default you'll be nice to people who are nice to them. Brother, Nihad is nice to me, I'm nice to him, so there is nothing wrong. But if Abu Umar is bad to me and a smile to his face, here is the challenge. That's why the Prophet Muhammad said what? خير الصدقة على القريب الكاشح. The best sadaqah is the sadaqah that you give to the relative who hates al-khair for you. My cousin and my nephew is in America now. He earns money by dollars, and we are here. What is the currency in Pakistan? Rupees, and we have money by rupees here, and he makes in one day what we do in 1 year. So they hate us. They hate us. So for sure, by default, you don't like to give them sadaqah, right? I give sadaqah and he doesn't like al-khair for me. But the Prophet said that the best sadaqah is such type of sadaqah that you give it, ya Umar, to the one who hates you. When you do it and you do it again, I don't like to give him sadaqah. But no, ya Allah, I give it because of your sake. فَإِذَا الَّذِي بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَهُ عَدَاوَةٌ كَأَنَّهُ وَلِيٌّ حَمِيمٌ. Sometimes when we give sadaqah to our relatives, even if they hate us, wallahi, ikhwan, wallahi, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. So that's why the advice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is good. So number one, because I always like to focus. Number one, ya Umar, what is the reward, ya Umar? I'm good to my family members, even if they are bad to me. Number one, I will enter Jannah. Number two, من أراد أن يبسط له في رزقه. We need barakah in our rizq, or actual increase in our rizq. This is what the Prophet says. And this is the understanding of the scholars. I need barakah in my rizq, or I need a good income, a lot of money for our youth. If this is the language that they like, this is through Silatul Rahim. This will bring, inshallah, the rizq. وَمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُنْسَأَ لَهُ فِي أَثَرِ. Ya Umar, do you like to have long life or not? For sure you love. Every one of us love this. And the Prophet says, Brother Zaina, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ طَالَ عُمْرُهُ وَحَسُنَ عَمَلُهُ. One of the best things is to have a long life with righteous deeds. So there is nothing haram on that. So if you want to have barakah in your rizq, or if you want to have increase in your age, have a good relation with your family members. An-Nawawi rahimahullah. Have we heard about An-Nawawi rahimahullah? Al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyya, right? Some people don't know they translated the 40 nuclear hadith, but they know Arba'in Nawawiyya. Nawa is the city where he was born. So that's what we call Nawawi, related to this. But Nawawi, not nuclear, okay, as people mention it. So An-Nawawi, he lived for 40 years. But the books that he wrote, and many scholars, they were like this. They lived for 40 years, but Allah gave them a lot of barakah. That they lived like a person who lived for 100, 200 years. So Allah will give you rizq in your umr, barakah in your age, when you have a good relation with your family members. What else? وَمَنْ أَرَادَ أَلَّا يَمُوتَ مَيْتَةَ السُّوءِ. The Prophet says, the one who wants to have a good end, which is the wish of everyone. The Prophet Muhammad says, فَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهَ وَلْيَصِلْ رَحِمَهُ. Then he should fear Allah, and he should have a good relation with his family members if he wants to have a peaceful time when he or she dies. So how many, alhamdulillah, virtues now entering Jannah? Having barakah in our ages, having barakah in our rizq, and having a good time when we die, right? Subhanallah, if you remember this story for one of the scholars, when I think Sa'id ibn Musayyab, they told him that, this person died in his house because his house demolished upon him. He says, no, go and search for him. And they went and they searched for him and they found him alive. He says, how did you say this? He says, because he was dutiful to his family members. Subhanallah. Now we'll come to the extreme, the opposite side, the other side of the coin. If we are not good with family members, what will happen? Count with me now. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud used to say, if anybody from us is cutting ties with his family members, he should be away from our gathering, because the gates of the heavens will not be open for those who cut ties with their family members. In other words, our dua will not be answered if we have one in our gathering who are cutting ties with his family members. This is number one. Our dua will not be answered. Our deeds will not be raised. The Prophet ﷺ says that the deeds will be raised every Monday and Thursday except for Qati' al-Rahim. The one who cut ties with his family members, his deeds will not be raised. Ya Allah, this means that the person will not enter Jannah, wal iyadu billah. So what are the disadvantages now, the sins? Number one, that person, his dua will not be answered. Number two, that his deeds will not be raised to Allah Azza wa Jal as it came in the hadith. Look at this one. And this is the worst. ما من ذنب أحرى أن تعجل عقوبته في الدنيا مع ما يدخر لصاحبه في الآخرة من البغي وقطيعة الرحم. Translate, Brother Atar. So there are no sins that the punishment for it will be in the dunya before the hereafter, except two things. Two things, the punishment from them is in the dunya before the hereafter. What are these two things? Al-baghi, transgression. When you oppress, when Allah give you the power, when you have, when you are an employer and you fire some people for no reason. When you take money from someone whom you shouldn't take money from him. When you make and cause problems for people without any right. The punishment will be in the dunya before the hereafter. And cutting ties. If you cut ties with your family member, don't think that you will have a beautiful time with your kids, for example. No. You will drink from the same cup, from the same glass. And I'm sure that you all know a lot of stories about this. Those who are so bad to their parents, subhanallah, Allah granted them bad kids who give them a hard time. Ya Allah. So now, no dua will be answered. And now, the deeds will not be raised. Now, the punishment will be in the dunya before the hereafter. Now, to conclude, how to have a good relation with our family members? What are the levels of Silatul Rahim? The levels of Silatul Rahim, the least that we can do. Do not have a discord with them. Some of us, wallahi, I didn't talk to some of my family members for years. I'm having a problem with my sister or my brother because of the inheritance for now 15 years. Don't have this, discord with them. At least a salam. Even if you disagree with someone, if you know that they are wrong and you are right, at least in Eid time, say salam to them, but not to cut ties completely with them. So this is the least. Type. After that, kaful adha. Do not just go to the court and just, sue them in the court. Do not just, call the police for them. Do not just, give them a hard time and cause disasters and hard times for them. Type. And then the third level, the higher level, if they are in need for money, spend money on them. Yani, ikhwan, if you remember, I told you, some people say, Sheikh, can I give my zakah to my brother? Can I give my zakah to my sister? It's allowed. I'm not saying, but shame on us. Shame on us if we wait till our sisters and our brothers ask from the zakah. You are now asking about this money, the extra money to give it for your brother and to give it for your sister. They are in dire need for money. And you are asking about the zakah. When Al-Hasan, Al-Hussein, they wanted to get money from the zakah, the Prophet Muhammad says, this is not good for you to take from this money. Ya akhi, subhanAllah, I told you the story of Al-Khansa and her brother. She wrote poetry about her brother that counted as the best poetry in history for Ar-Risa, for mentioning the qualities and mentioning the good things about the deceased. She wrote the best thing about her brother. Why? Because her brother, when she got bankrupt, her husband had no money. He said to her, come here, I have this money, let us divide it. After some time, she and her husband lost all the money again. Again, he told her, come here. And come and the same happened the first time. Let us do it again. Divide the money between me and you. This is the brotherhood and sisterhood. So spend nafaqah on them. Some of the brothers say, I spend on my brother. Can I count it from the zakah? Ya akhi, you didn't have the intention of the zakah from the very beginning. So now you want to take an advantage of any money that you spent, just because you want to save money. Shame on us if our brothers and sisters are in need for money. So this is number 3. Number 4, Abu Dhar came to the Prophet Muhammad says, sometimes with me and my family members, sometimes we have these fights. The Prophet Muhammad says, Ya Abu Dhar, ask Allah's forgiveness for them. Make dua for them. Remember them in your dua. So those are the 4 levels, inshallah. The least, do not have discord with them. Say salam to them. Number 2, remove any harm from them. Do not be a source of harm for them. The higher one is spend money on them and give them. And as we said, the best sadaqah is to the one that you give it to al-kashih, to the one who's in need for money and he gives you a hard time. And number 3, to spend on them. And number 4, to make dua for them and ask Allah's forgiveness for them. But you can go higher. The righteous people, they go higher. They have a good relation. They always call. They always ask. They always gift their family members. Remember, this is from Al-Ma'ruf that will entitle us to enter Jannah, will give us barakah in our rizq, will give us barakah in our ages, and will make Ar-Rahim testify and make dua for us when we pass the Sirat. May Allah make us all among those who have a good relation with their family members, Ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah this to our credit, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And inshallah, bi'Iznillah, tomorrow will soon Jum'ah. This is the last Jum'ah for me here, inshallah, bi'Iznillah. So inshallah, bi'Iznillah. But I will come here. Salahuddin is my masjid. You will find me, inshallah, frequently. But this is the last formal khutbah for me here, inshallah, bi'Iznillah. I encourage everyone to come if you want to see me, inshallah, tomorrow, inshallah, bi'Iznillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I will be around, inshallah, bi'Iznillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I will never forget this community. I always, alhamdulillah,